Alright, welcome back everyone. We're back at it. We're working on the fender flare. We're taking out the scrapes and scratches and that deep gash there. We're going to start off as usual with wet sanding. We'll go 1000, then we'll go to the 3000 grit, then grab the polisher and do some compounding and move on. The perfect place for the 2-inch pneumatic polisher with the microfiber cutting pad and the Angel Wax heavy cut cream. We're going to be extra careful here, guys. We're on fiberglass. We don't know how much clear we have because pieces and parts of this vehicle have been repainted in the past, and we don't know how much the body shop has left us clear coat wise. The Positector does give me some information that there is a nice thick coat between the surface and the top of the fiberglass, but just how much of that is clear is unknown coming from a body shop. Had it been coming from factory, I know it's pretty much a given. There would be 1.5 to 2 mils of thickness worth of clear coat on top of the paint. And the finishing touches on this area here before we move on will include a paint kit with filler and exact matching touch-up paint. I will get into that in future videos. One little tip that I will leave you before we get into those videos: there are no brush strokes like you're painting the Mona Lisa. This is more like blotting the paint or ink from tattoo artists, but we'll get into that in the future. Okay, so this area is complete. It's ready for the polishing stage. There are 2 or 3 more areas just like this one. And when we get to the next stage, which is the swirl and minor blemish removal, we'll just kind of go around the little areas that we did here, and we'll skip those areas. Those will be reserved for the polishing stage. Here is a scratch, short but rather deep, 1000 grit, 3000 grit. We'll compound it out and then save the rest for the polishing stage. Your arm movements are not going to be quite as slow and deliberate as they would be with some of the larger polishers. This is more like a surgical tool, almost like a scalpel. You want to have nice, smooth, level arm movements, but keep them going. Don't hover in one space for a long time. That area is complete. We're going to move back here. This is just a hot mess back around the gas cap area. We have staining from fuel. We have scratches, scuffs, all kinds of nicks. We're going to take care of that all in one shot. When this is complete, the staining will not be a problem in the future. I'm going to cut a piece of SunTech paint protection film and put it right around the gas cap and run it right down alongside the taillight. This area is just a ton of very light blemishes, so we're going to skip the 1000 grit. We're just using 3000 grit Trizac disc. Then we're going to jump to compounding from there. Let me quick remove the residue. I'll bring you in close. We'll take a look, inspect the area, make sure it's time to move on. That looks pretty decent. That's ready for the polishing stage. We can move on to the next area. This here is actually the final area where we will be using wet sanding to correct and get the paint ready for the next step. The scratch is about 4 or 5 inches long. It's not very deep at all. So we're just going to use 3000 grit here. And again, just jump from there to compounding and get it ready for the polishing stage. The final scratch remaining is completely gone. It's time to move on. And what we're moving on to is actually what would be a normal 2-step paint correction for removing swirls and other minor blemishes, and then we'll go to the polishing stage. So this is the end of video 2. Move on to video 3, take a break, and I'll see you there.